Hello there, my friend and fellow Disney fan. Welcome to Disney Travel Secrets. Rob and Kerri Stuart here in the Creating Magic Vacation studio in beautiful Windermere, Florida. You're listening to episode number 389, original air date July 29th, 2024.
And if you have a trip coming up to Disney World, then get ready to get some great tips this week because we are sharing ways to save you time in the parks.
And just 2 weeks ago, we were on Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas, and it was awesome. So take a listen to Travel Inspired Show number 147 and learn all about that brand new amazing show.
Yeah, which reminds me, would you like to cruise with us on Weekends on the Wish, November 8th?
Yes, I'm in. Yes, I would. And like I've always said, traveling with friends is the best thing ever. And if you listen to this show, you are our friend.
Take it away, Hugh.
Hello, my friends. This is former Disney Imagineer Hugh Darley, and you're listening to Disney Travel Secrets with my friends Rob and Kerri Stuart. As you can imagine, I have plenty of Disney secrets myself, and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get this show on the road. Take it away, guys.
As always, thank you so much for tuning into our show. If you are a new listener, then welcome. I'm Rob.
And I'm his wife, Kerri. And we are the co-founders of Creating Magic Vacations, an authorized Disney vacation planner.
We've been in the travel industry since 2008, and our passion for Disney really started back in 2012 when we popped into a special presentation over at Epcot where there was this guy that he knew a lot about Disney and the history of Disney. And he even worked with Walt himself, and that man was Marty Sklar.
Yeah, and that was so crazy because unlike a lot of our listeners, and possibly you listening, we didn't grow up going to Disney. I'm from Littleton, Colorado, and Rob's from St. Louis. And
that's in Missouri.
That's in Missouri. And I had gone to Disneyland twice as a kid, and both trips were really special, but we didn't really consider ourselves Disney nuts.
We were traveling the world, and this live video app called Periscope started. If you don't remember what it was like back then, it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
You could geo-search where people were going live, and this is before Facebook Live even existed, and we were some of the first people to go live at Disney.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because one thing that we noticed was whenever we were at Disney, the Disney views were crazy high. Now, this was back in 2015 before live videos were everywhere. So let's just say we leaned into what our viewers wanted, which was more Disney.
And it was kind of crazy because from there we learned a lot about Disney. We were annual pass holders. But when we stayed at the parks and resorts, we were going to the Waldorf, not to sound too bougie, but we had done one stay at Contemporary, but it was always, for us, it was always the Waldorf.
Yeah, the Waldorf has been so amazing. Plus, it helped. We had some really good Florida resident rates.
Yes,
but
we did.
Some of our viewers kept saying, why don't you guys stay at a Disney resort and broadcast from there? So we decided, okay. And that started a 7.5-year streak of coming to Disney World from St. Petersburg once a month and staying on property for 3 to 7 nights each time. And we even stayed at a couple like Disney Springs and over at the Flamingo Crossings area.
Okay, one thing to keep in mind is we were in St. Petersburg, Florida, not the one in Russia, because that would have been a really
That would have been
flight.
really expensive.
So fast forward to today where we now live in Windermere to be close to the park so we can pop over and see our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors and our clients whenever they're here on vacation.
Yeah, we've been super lucky to do that. And this has been the best move for us. And since we do love staying in the bubble, we still stay on property a few times a year because there is just something special at Disney, even if you're a local.
I agree. We really love helping our clients have that newer vacation experience at Disney. We also know how complicated it can be.
Yes, it's what we call job security for us.
It is.
So thanks for joining us here on Disney Travel Secrets. We 100% will always give you good advice based on real experience and the experience of our clients, because this is what we do all day long.
We're also super proud of our agents that have joined our team and also our new program called the CMV Heroes Project, benefiting Folds of Honor. You can see these t-shirts. This is why you guys need to join us on YouTube and follow us on YouTube, because you get to see the cool background.
I
stuff.
know. And we have a little surprise later too.
We do. So it's a very special partnership that we just started not even a month ago.
Yeah. And actually, it was really surprising to learn that we are the only travel agency in the entire country that has a military charity as a partner. So I'm super proud of this.
I will tell you that it shocked me. It really did.
Yeah. So we do have a shout out to Marina, who is in the Disney College program, and she works at Cape May. So, hey, Marina.
We had stopped over to meet with a couple of our agents over at Beach Club, and we ran into her as she was leaving her shift.
Yeah. So, number one rule whenever you are over at Disney, be nice to everyone because you never know if they're there to enjoy their vacation or maybe they're just getting off a long shift.
So the new Lightning Lane system started up this past week. We still need to do some of our own testing because as we are recording this, it's Kerri's birthday, July 24th, and we're going to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Our friend Steve Lynch from Autograph is having one of his guitars put into the museum there. But if you were familiar with the old Fast Pass system, you'll be fine with this.
Yeah, you will be fine. And also, thank you so much for all the comments and feedback on our last couple shows. On our Instagram specifically, we are loving the conversations going on. So make sure you're following us on all the socials, especially Instagram.
And speaking of Instagram pages, come join us on Facebook and be part of our Weekends on the Wish page. That is where we will connect with those specific to sailing on some of the cruises. The next one is November 8th to the 11th, and it's going to be a very maritime sailing.
I know. I'm excited to see like the new outfits the characters are going to have. It's going to be really great. And we really look forward to these groups growing over the next year because cruising with friends is always more fun and everyone is welcome. The general format is we will all dine together. We'll plan a couple other meetups, and then we're working on trying to figure out something to do in Nassau.
So head over to weekendsonthewish.com and get signed up.
So did you hear about how Disney one-upped Meghan Trainor on the inaugural sailing of Utopia?
That was hilarious. We didn't get an invite to the naming ceremony, so we missed it. But as expected, the Disney Wish was coming by to sail by the Utopia, and we were on the top deck just getting some shots of the Disney Wish as it went by.
Yeah, because of course we're going to do that. Okay, so here is what happened. So they had her little party was all like roped off. And so they had the bottle of champagne came smashing down and they did the naming ceremony. She is the godmother of Utopia of the Seas. And then she was getting ready to play on the ukulele, her first song on board after naming the ship.
And I did not know she could play a ukulele.
Yeah. So
I did not know this.
And so what happened was as soon as she goes to strum, the Disney Wish played their horns as they literally went by. And if you've ever heard the Disney cruise ship horns, it's very iconic. And this one seemed a little longer than normal.
It also seemed to be a little bit later in the day because normally the Wish would sail at 4:00, and this was around 5.
This is around 5.
And as the ship starts sailing by, we could not really see Meghan Trainor because we were on the 75th deck of the ship.
Right? That's a big ship.
Do I think this was on purpose? I think I would almost be offended if it wasn't because, again, the ship normally leaves at 4:00. This was about an hour later. I'm like, if they did this, this was brilliant. Somebody at Disney was on the Utopia going, okay,
cue the horn.
Cue the horn. It was...
She took it in stride, though.
She did.
You can go and find the video on YouTube or TikTok.
It didn't ruin anything. It was still
cute.
Still a great ceremony, but I'm like, wow. Disney's like, okay, hold my beer.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. It was so great. One of the things we have always said about a Disney vacation is that time is money. Yeah. And that's this week's show topic, the top 5 tips for maximizing time on your Disney vacation.
Okay. We may give you a few more, but our social media team says if you list it as the top 5, it's the best title, but we're going to give you a few more than that.
Yeah. So number 1 is use mobile order whenever you can. I mean, we hate lines as much as you do. So we always try to use mobile order as much as possible. It's super easy, but it will save you a ton of time.
So we were on a VIP tour, which I highly recommend. And we had mobile ordered some beverages so we didn't have to wait in line.
Yeah. So we literally got off the ride, and VIP tours are very expensive.
Yeah.
And so we got off the ride and we just swung by, picked up our beverages and continued on our way. But the mobile order, don't be afraid of it. And it's super easy. It's going to save you a ton of time. So here's my little pro tip. is pre-place your orders in the morning and select your pickup times while you are on the bus headed to the parks. It's a good use of time on the bus.
And we did this back when mobile ordering was kind of a new thing. So we'd order a couple drinks and went and grabbed them. And our tour guide was like, how did they know? How did you do this? So yeah, that's always one of our best tips. Next up, our recommendation is stay at a Disney resort. Early entry and the extended evening hours for deluxe guests is amazing. Why? You would be amazed at how much you can get done during that 30 minutes of early theme park entry, or during the times that they do the extended evening hours as well. Keep in mind, early entry is something reserved for guests staying at select resorts. Also remember that not all attractions will be open. We found that personally over at Disneyland Paris. A lot of stuff wasn't open. We're like, okay, but we got here early.
Yeah, well, and it's over at Magic Kingdom. You only have the Tomorrowland and then Fantasyland. So a lot of the park isn't open. But one of the things about staying at a Disney resort, though, that's huge, is the amount of time it is going to save you from having to park and drive in, because everything is 30 minutes from Orlando in Orlando. And so getting into the parks.
That's our Orlando kind of insider tip.
So if you're staying over on 192, you're going to have to either get there really, really early, but once you've parked for like Magic Kingdom, you still need to get on the monorail or the ticket and go through ticket and transportation. Yeah. And all of that time adds up, because we will see people with probably really good intentions that they want to get there early. And they go to Magic Kingdom and, the park, let's say, opens at 9. Those turnstiles are packed at about 9 to 9:30 because people underestimated the amount of time it takes to get in. So save yourself the hassle. Just stay at a Disney resort.
Coming up at number 3 this is something we've said for years. Do the opposite of what most people do. If you rope drop, don't go where everyone goes. I'll give you an example, which would be Magic Kingdom. Everyone goes to Seven Dwarfs. If you stay in Tomorrowland, you can do everything.
Yeah, it's such a big difference. And like Animal Kingdom, everyone goes to Flight of Passage. Like they'll open up the ropes and everybody's headed that direction. Well, if you just hang and go the other direction, you could hit Dinosaur and work your way around, hit Everest, and then make your way over to Pandora, where the lines are going to start changing a little bit. Utilize the tools you have with Lightning Lane or doing the purchases, but think the opposite. I remember we went to Magic Kingdom one time. It was for my birthday, actually. And we didn't want to go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and all that. So we just went to Fantasyland and went to all the attractions that nobody was going on because they were all wasting time in line. And we got in a ton within just 1 hour. And that was using early entry. But we got, I don't know, it was like probably 5 different attractions in 1 hour.
It could have been 17. We don't know.
It wasn't 17. That I do know. But it's a really good tip to just, if you find yourself following the masses when you're in the parks, you're doing it wrong. And so challenge yourself to do the opposite. Tip number 4 to save you time is go ahead and budget for Lightning Lane. They are worth it if the attraction is on your must-do list. It will save you a ton of time. Like I remember when we were in Paris, we purchased the Premier Access Pass at Disneyland, and it was totally worth it. I wish they had it in the US parks.
And I will say it was 160 euro per person. I have no idea what that equates to in US dollars, but totally worth it because we actually did 16 rides that day.
Yeah.
Had we not done that, because we had like one full park day. Had we not done that, we would not have seen all these attractions. And so sometimes just put that in the budget. Over at Disneyland Paris, you don't have to get it for every day. You can buy it for that particular day. So that was our strategy over at Disneyland Paris because we had never been to that park. So if you don't come down here to Walt Disney World that often, it's worth doing it.
Yeah, just plan. It's going to save you a ton of time because those are the faster lines. And you definitely are going to be very happy when you're walking past everybody and just going, wow, why are those people in the long line? Because they're not utilizing, but
just ready.
Budget for it.
You're going to get the stairs. Here's kind of a funny story about the virtual queues and the Lightning Lane and everything is our niece Kylie was down here and we were going over to Star Wars, Millennium Falcon. And she's like, why are we walking past everybody? I jokingly said, but it's become an inside joke. I'm like, oh, they're in the peasant line. And so every time she came down here a few months ago, she's like, oh, look, that's the peasant line. But again, when it comes to saving money, your time is very valuable.
Yeah, it 100% is. So budget for those. All right. Number 5, virtual queues. Use them, but there's a little something you need to know. These are really great if you can get an early boarding group.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and let's say that the line is really long, like we see this at Tron and we see this at Guardians all the
for
time.
sure, yeah.
Go ahead and ask the cast member if you can come back later. There's not a guarantee they're going to let you back in if your group has already passed, but ask them, get their name. And we did this for Tron. Like we walked up and the line was so long that we said, is there any way we can come back later? And he said, yeah, no problem. And the beautiful thing was when we did return, it was pretty late at night and there was no line. There was like nobody in the virtual queue line. But
And we walked straight into the ride, and Tron at night is amazing. A really, really cool ride.
yeah, it's a fun experience. But the virtual queues can be rough on your time because you don't know when that return time is going to pop up. And the rides go down. So you may think you have a good group, then it becomes not a good one. And so what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself bouncing around the park. And that takes a lot of time to go from one side to the next. And so it's always best if you can just purchase the individual lightning lanes, or what now is called the lightning lane single pass.
We will learn more on that soon.
And so definitely purchase that when you can if you don't get a good virtual queue.
So coming in at number 6 of our top 5.
So this is the bonus.
Our top 5 tips. Do the rides during a special show. So go during the parade or fireworks. Stay out late when the crowds are all leaving, especially if it's after one of our daily rain showers. That's the time to do these rides.
Yeah, because it's crazy how much things will open up and you can get on a lot of rides and it's super fun. Okay, so since we're doing bonuses, let's give them some more. Number 7
Of the top 5
of the
tips.
top 5. Have a plan going into the park. I know that sounds basic, but we see a lot of people that just show up. They grab that map and they're just looking at it. They don't know where to go. So that they do the mistake we said earlier. They're following the masses. You don't want to be doing that. Yeah. And we experienced this firsthand the first time that we went to Disneyland Paris. We went into the park. We didn't know where to go because we didn't really do a lot of homework ourselves. We had some tips from some of our friends and our clients that had gone saying, oh, you definitely want to go check out this attraction. Make sure you go over here, go to the castle. We did not have a plan. So we didn't even use our own advice. And the first day that we were in the park, because we had a 3-day park pass, was a little bumpy. I mean, it was rainy, it was cold, but we didn't know where to go. And we just happened to stumble into an attraction that we really liked. And the wait was only 5 minutes. So that was a big bonus. But you need to have a plan.
So we file this as do as we say, not as we do sometimes.
Yeah, fair.
Coming in at number 8 of our top 5 ways to save time. We're just going to keep going. The single rider lines. And I made this mistake years ago because I was single. I didn't know there was a married rider lines.
There's not.
There's not a married rider line. So you don't have to be single to get in that line.
Yes, and the cast members have all heard your joke every single time.
And they love it.
But there really aren't a lot of rides that offer this. But if you're willing to break up your party, you can save a lot of time. I know Expedition Everest, sometimes that single rider line is fantastic. So keep that in mind. But they're not with a lot of the rides.
You are correct.
And at number 9
of our top 5.
Be strategic about how you're picking your lightning lane rides. This is where you need to know where the rides are so that you're not walking back and forth in the parks. That's a
true.
huge waste of time, and you can modify them. So once you pick those, when we're doing like the new system and you have the multi-pass for the lightning lanes and you get a ride and it assigns you a time, then you can always modify and try to get a better time, but you do not want to be hauling back and forth in the parks. You don't want to be bouncing from Guardians, going all the way back to Remy's, then going back to Frozen. That's going to be exhausting and it wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, so be strategic about where you know the rides are within the parks. Park hopping to do this stuff is not going to work at all. And it's something we hear all the time. People say, I'm going to do my just one park per day. I'm like, okay, you're going to severely restrict what you're able to do. But when you're in a certain park, yeah, again, don't go from the front of the park to the back of the park and back and forth.
Yeah. And another little pro tip in there, though, because if you do have young kids, you're probably not going to do park hopping because that would just be exhausting. But one of the other things that you can be looking for is pre-know like where the kids areas are in the parks. And also if you need the baby stations, because they do have those in every single park.
Coming in at number 10 of our top 5 is do plan a sit-down meal or a show, more to just kind of take a break and recharge, especially when it's hot and humid like it gets here in Florida. You get tired and hungry, and then all the good decisions go out the window.
And that's where you start losing time, is because you're tired and you're hangry. And then
wait,
just,
hangry?
Yes, there's a thing.
There's a thing.
Now, I know while this tip may sound counterintuitive to saving time, you are going to appreciate this little pause and just the slowdown. So what are your tips? Head on over to our Instagram and share your favorite tip. And so we're going to do something different this week. We are going to take everybody who comments on the day the show drops, which is July 29th, and we're going to put you in a drawing, and one lucky winner is going to win something pretty cool. But you have to do a thoughtful comment and a tip. So share your tip.
And tag a friend.
And oh yeah, tag a friend. That would be like a bonus thing. So here's what we got for you. If you are a Cars fan and you like collecting cool things to go into your office, we have a really cool, it's a little Cars desk accessory. Let me get it for you. Stand by.
Another reason you should be watching us on YouTube is the visual portion of this.
So this is really cute. This is Rusty's, and it comes with some Post-its, and it opens up. And inside, you can see some more little Post-its, and it did come with paper clips, but somewhere those have been used.
We lost the paper
and so,
clips.
And it's really heavy. It's like ceramic. So this is something just really cute. So we're going to be giving away one of these to one of our lucky listeners.
And this sits on my desk every day, and I'll put a picture in. Sometimes I change out the pictures of just a really fun Disney memory, so that every time I'm sitting there standing at my desk, it's a stand-up desk, I see a picture that reminds me of something special. The one that is currently, and that's actually mine, the current picture is me and my grandpa back in the 80s. And again, every time I see that picture, I just smile.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in this week, though. We hope that at least one of these tips helps you save some time on your next Disney trip.
As always, if we can help plan your next Disney vacation, Disney cruise, Adventures by Disney, or actually any trip, we need to remind you of that. We book everything. Probably the 10 cruise lines you've heard of and about 30 you haven't, and we can book it all. Please reach out to us or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors. I will say this, if you are currently working with a travel agent, travel advisor, stay with them. We're all about helping small business. But if you're not, if you book direct with some of the vendors, please feel free to reach out to somebody on our team.
Yeah. And having somebody who knows Disney and knows the ins and outs definitely can help make your vacation better. So just go to creatingmagicvacations.com and click on Plan a Vacation, and we will be in touch.
Until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.